So as we can see, we've been doing okay in terms of stock price, only about $2 behind the lead, about $7 ahead of these eliminated people, 3.5 maybe-ish ahead of the guy currently in last place. Unfortunately, we still are in the last half of the colonies, so things haven't been going spectacularly well, but our income is getting better. We do have places to compete, and we even have the ability to purchase an off-world market astronaut, which I think is very tempting, given what our options are at this point. Could maybe grab some reactors as well. Could just grab everything, quite frankly. We have enough money for it, and our income currently well exceeds our expenses. So that's actually a very, very tempting thing to go ahead and do, is just grab all 3 of these. For electronics, off-world market, and for the electrolysis reactor, and go ahead and hop into a mission. Let's see, we've got an extra claim here, no auction scenario. Could be kind of nice. Cold fusion, no interest, so I guess we're going for the extra claim, just so the game doesn't kill us with cold fusion. All right. Whatever works, game. So we've already got Alpha Launch Core and Omega Entertainment Core on this mission, whereas Beta Stock Core is over fighting for cold fusion. Best of luck to them in their suicidal attempt at that. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. Usual scanning phase. We're just checking around, trying to find some iron. Got some aluminum up there. That's nice. Quite a bit of aluminum. That shouldn't be too much of an issue. Not enough iron yet to actually use, so we're going to have to keep poking around. Might be some over here.
High levels of carbon.
That's carbon. That's not particularly helpful. As in, not helpful at all right now. What are we competing with? A robot and an expansive or scientist. That's not really what we want to be seeing, because they'll be fighting us for that iron that we absolutely need to find somewhere. We found 2 plots, both low tiles and on their own. There we go. I'm just going to found right here. How can we do this? Let's just do it here. Alright. Mine. Turn that off. And let's go ahead and grab this 2-stack aluminum. This should be enough aluminum to be usable. I think we only need that 1 aluminum mine and we'll be alright. Alright. We have pirates that we're going to be able to use to take away the scientific player's steel. He seems to have found a place where he can get at least some adjacency bonuses, so that's going to be nice. This robot has a hydroponic farm down, which is making him $1 a second if he decides to turn it on, and a reactor, which is also making him some amount of money, given that he apparently has enough engineers to make these viable. Congratulations to him, I suppose. That would have been nice for me, but oh well. Such is life. Let's see, we are developing a huge amount of iron stockpiled. We need to go ahead and buy into some steel, do that standard upgrading. If we can pull it off. That robot is outstripping us, which is rather unfortunate. But I don't know of anything to have done about it, unfortunately. Given that he's just starting with actual production, whereas we're starting with production, which is a handicap because it's a glass furnace. And it's not a very good one at that. It's quite frustrating. Okay. This steel is producing. Once it gets closer to 40, we'll try and remember to throw down the pirates on top of the steel mill just to make sure we've got that income coming in. We will get down steel mills as soon as we are able to. Once we've upgraded, it's just going to take a while because we have to wait for these aluminum shipments to come on in. Thankfully, we've already wrecked the price on iron, which I guess is both good and bad. Maybe I didn't need both of these mines. It's just kind of habit. Have to remember that I've got 3 metal mine engineers, and that makes a serious difference in the campaign. Alright, there goes another steel mill. We'll make sure that gets started. Apparently he's been sending the steel early, which computers seem to have a habit of doing that, frustratingly, so we'll just go ahead and pirate now. Aluminum is down to being worth nothing, considering this guy's pulling in not very much. This guy's pulling in the same amount we are, so that's very interesting that the scientific player on his own has wrecked it. We do have a goon squad available. Might be best to go ahead and just use it here. Protect our little bit of steel income, so we can continue to upgrade and try and press through this campaign reasonably quickly. Would be good to get some housing on the colony just to start it growing before too long, if we can pull that off. Just kind of a nice little goal to aim for. Let's see, how much money is it going to take? I believe 3,500. Yep, that's the amount we're going to aim for. We can just sell off some steel. I didn't mean to upgrade, I meant to upgrade the colony. I'm an idiot. Whatever. It's fine, I'm not going to worry about it. And let's see what else we can do. We can grab some valuable carbon. There's decent carbon around. It's certainly worth something. We can grab some silicon. There's not a lot of that around. So it could be even more valuable to go ahead and take. And that way we'll be able to move into our electronics later on without too much of an issue. We also have the ability to put down a hacker array, although I don't think we want to go about that just yet. Power might be a bit more of an immediate concern. But these players both already have wind turbines down, so maybe it's not something we have to worry about instantaneously. But I don't see anything else to really do with this basic wind turbine, so it may just be the direction we go anyways. Let's buy a house, get that colony growing. That way we can buff up our income later. It was a fairly cheap thing to buy anyway, shouldn't be too much of an issue to have done. Alright, there's some steel coming in, thankfully. Finally, I should say. Okay, and let's look at this wind turbine. The carbon is finally coming on in. We can just delete this and put a hacker array in its place at some point, almost certainly something we will do at some point. For now, let's just get the turbine down in a fairly simple location. Let's see. I don't think I want to upgrade yet. I'd rather go ahead and get the hacker array down first and use this steel price to accomplish that. Maybe even grab up some more housing and then do the hacker array. Okay, we've got enough. There we go. That way it's down. We can worry about also doing things like grabbing up new claims, grabbing up goon squads, but this just means we're going to be ready to go when we actually put down electronics, and we can go ahead and hack it and make quite a bit of money off of it. Thankfully, one advantage we have here is our robotic opponent only has one electronics factory engineer, so he is not particularly good at actually making electronics, and that's definitely a strength we're going to have this game. Should go ahead and check Offworld prices. It looks like food is going to be reasonably valuable. Iron shortage coming on in. Could be nice. Not too big a deal, hopefully. We can't really commit into it any more than we already have, considering we've already put 400 into it. So I'm just not going to worry about that too much. Alright. Let's see. We're going to want to sell some iron. I think we're going to want to upgrade. Get down, a little more power. We're already on HQ level 4. And then I think we'll go ahead and put down our electronics, start a short on them. Even though we're not making too many yet, we will be before too long. And now we're just kind of waiting for, once again, the steel and aluminum to filter in while we get things done. Long time till we can hit the black market again. Of course there's an electronic surplus. Why wouldn't there be? This is campaign after all. We're not allowed to succeed. That would be nuts. Ah, oh, guys, come on. I thought it was going to go okay for a moment. Smacked right on down. And our power gets frozen. That shouldn't be any real surprise. There is going to be an aluminum shortage, which we'll buy into just a bit, not too much.
Scientific colony expanded.
And that's why I was worried about it, because scientific colony expanded, and magically at that point, the aluminum price actually actively went down. So that was impressive. It jumped from 41 to 11 through this colony consuming a large amount of aluminum. Makes sense. I'm on it. I get it. Oh, there's another jump downward. Let's see what happens with the steel. That's quite frustrating. They didn't even make a huge amount of money off of it, or at least they're not sitting on much money off of it. Well, everything's just gotten a little bit awkward. We could upgrade at this point. I don't really see the point to it, given that steel's still rather expensive. I think we just shorted electronics, although there's a natural short on water, which is very tempting to move into. I guess we could do both a little bit. That way we don't get completely destroyed on the water when everybody else has it and we don't. Let's do the move into electronics. Then we need to buy a goon squad, I think, to protect our power, because power has gotten insanely expensive, and it's very tempting to go ahead and throw down
the black market is online.
Some solar panels just for the superconductor so we can take advantage of it. Now, food. Hopefully people aren't sitting on a giant stockpile of that, and we can actually use this shortage. And then go ahead and do something completely ridiculous and short silicon, because why not? I don't think there's a lot of silicon income going around for either of these players, and with any luck, that'll pan out all right. Well, steel's still insanely expensive, so I think we're going to put stuff into this goon squad, for example, rather than upgrading right away. Electronics factories are still going all right, so I think that's all fine. And we could buy some housing and in office to kind of increase our electronics consumption. There's a carbon shortage. Who has carbon? Anybody but me? Yeah, this guy has carbon coming in. So I'll need to be a little careful about this, but we'll bring it up a little bit. Unfortunately, this hurts our electronics production, especially considering we don't have good adjacency bonuses yet. Thankfully, we're not actively losing money like this guy is, especially if we go ahead and turn him off. And a chem shortage, naturally, of course. This guy only has a little bit of chems. We'll hope this is okay as well. What is with all these shortages right now, though? It's insane. Like, it's actually ridiculous how many shortages are going on at the moment. Wow, these guys have a lot of power down. I didn't expect them to have quite that much. They are computers. I should be ready for it. It's just odd. What did I short? Silicon. Yes, of course. Well, let's make a lot of money off that. And then finally see about doing something like upgrading. Don't know if or when that'll actually happen, but it feels like it should at some point. I want to start a glass shortage. We'll just keep bouncing around. I see no reason to stick to one resource right now, if we have room to use the others. What is with this? Another food shortage? Neither of these guys has a hacker array. They're both in food. Fine. Whatever. At least I'm getting to use my shortages as well, so I won't complain too much. Too much being the key word there. Let's get an off-world down. At least one should be useful. We should be able to turn these back on and get a fair amount of profit off of them. That'll work. I guess we can do with 5 electronics factories. That should be okay. Maybe throw down an extra steel mill out here. We can change it into an off-world later if we so desire. We could even hack steel, quite frankly. We should be getting far more of it than anybody else. So hopefully nobody has a big stockpile of steel hanging out. Even if they do, we'll just plan on doing something like blowing their off-worlds up later. Speaking of, I should go ahead and protect mine, just in case. For later. Not going to worry about carbon too much. It is going to get expensive before too long, but we can always surplus it if we absolutely have to. That's a glass shortage coming in. We'll do what we can with it.
Our hackers have compromised the trading servers.
And then we'll work on getting further into the colony and actually getting something done there. Alright, this off-world, we're going to want to send, I think, oxygen with it. It's pretty close between oxygen and food, given the margins right now, but I think oxygen's going to be the better bet. So we'll just grab that, send it. We're making money. Yay, I love making money off of off-worlds. And we'll just keep bouncing around this hacker array, I suppose. Steel seems like an appropriate thing to do next. Especially once we blow up our opponent's off-world. Should cause quite a bit of problems. Need jobs, we'll buy an office. Keep everything growing. At least as much as we can manage. Surplus on aluminum. I guess we can go ahead and sell out of it. We'll start buying once it's at $1 again. Shouldn't be too big a deal. Buy another office, why not? Okay. That's all looking good so far. I think we're okay. Still kind of annoyed that this guy, I mean, he's still making all kinds of electronics, even though they're not particularly valuable for him.
Off-world shipment launched.
Oh, please don't wreck me with this. Yeah, we really need to start buying this stuff, because other people have bought into it significantly. Now, unfortunately, that actually seriously hurts our off-world, because we can't make as much money because the margins aren't as good between oxygen, on-world, and off-world. So that's just life, apparently. Man, you guys have sat on a lot of money right now. Sheesh, where's that all coming from? And can I please get some dynamite over here? Do I even want dynamite? I could just mutiny the thing.
The black market is online.
Let's try that. Alright. Buy food again. Send it. It's not great, but it's not too bad either. And then we'll buy more in the colony in a moment once we're done with this short, I think. We can maybe short fuel. That feels like a bad idea, though. Maybe a better option is to short silicon again. Probably not the worst idea. Sell off steel. We'll blow that up eventually. I don't see any point in it yet. Let's see. We could send chems. Probably a bad idea. I think we just have to keep sending food, actually, unfortunately.
Look at all the
So that's just what we'll do. Steel's making good money. Off-world's making good money. The electronics factories are making decent money. Not as good as I'd like, if I'm honest. And let's just keep buying into the colony to make sure we don't get completely destroyed in that. We're not near so far ahead as I would like to be, if I'm honest. Let's see, more housing, more offices.
Look at all the money.
Don't see any reason to deviate from that. Just housing and offices. Why not? Well, the reason why not is because glass is insanely expensive when we can't make any. But, do I just go ahead and switch into laboratories? They only can cost me electronics up front, and electronics aren't worth all that much. So I'm kind of tempted to just take that route. Go ahead and do some labs. Also, I really probably don't need these to be doing what they're doing. Gathering me iron, but I don't know what to move them into. I could move them into steel, possibly. And it might not be the worst idea. That probably wasn't the best send. Let's see, that got frozen out, but his stuff got frozen out too. Let's buy into the silicon short. See if we can make decent use of this. I wish we could make food or oxygen, but it's campaign. Oh, we can make oxygen. I should consider that. Would I actually make money off of oxygen right now? I'm not entirely sure. Net revenue of $2 right now on oxygen. Yeah, that's just not very good because I only have the one engineer. I'm kind of depending on eventually getting more engineers. And obviously with adjacency, that gets better, right? But if we even just look at base net revenue, well, apparently my electronics factories are doing poorly as well. I guess carbon's a little expensive. Let's just surplus carbon and fix that. That's one way to approach this problem. Let's just do a quick surplus. I could also potentially transition and then surplus water as another option. Things to consider. But right now, food is insanely expensive, and I think I actually need to surplus that just so the colony will grow enough so that I'll make plenty of money. Fuel shortage. I'll go ahead and buy into it, and we'll take that risk.
Scientific colony
And then I think,
expanded.
with that, maybe I should just get out of electronics and into fuel for the moment. We can surplus water. Yeah, steel's expensive. At least we're making steel.
Our hackers have compromised the trading servers. Price manipulation begins
Okay,
shortly.
let's put another office down. Sell off all the electronics for now. That way we're not losing a whole bunch of stuff on that. Food surplus is coming in. We can also surplus water afterward. Hopefully that will help. Steel's still coming in nicely. I'm going to delete this mine, get into a quick little steel mill. I'm glad to see people showed up in chat. I should be paying a little bit more attention to that because honestly this is just campaign and who cares.
Offworld shipment launched.
Okay, let's
Look
buy
at
some
all the
food,
money.
send some food. Sounds good to me. We'll go ahead and blow this up
Our hackers have compromised the trading servers.
for fun,
Price
because why not?
manipulation begins
How are these
shortly.
doing? They're making good money. That's fine. That's all fine. Let's see. Yeah, I'll do multiplayer after the campaign in a little bit. But yeah, for now this is versus AI because the campaign is new. We're experimenting with the campaign. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and finish up this run, this stream, and then we'll go ahead and make that transition. But it just seemed like a nice little thing to do because the campaign is all new, and I'm interested to see
Our hackers have compromised
how
the
everything is
trading
working
servers.
and what other people's
Price
opinions are on it.
manipulation begins
So
shortly.
that's why we're doing this, for anybody who's curious. I could buy more stock. I'm not too tempted to right now.
Offworld shipment
I
launched.
kind of just want to keep going with what
Look
I've
at
been
all the
doing.
money.
It's been working. How much money is everybody else sitting on? Not huge amounts. There's a chem short. I'll go ahead and buy into that, sure. This guy doesn't have too many chems. And neither of them is sitting on too much money for any given period of time. Which is why we're just bouncing these shorts around instead of buying stock for the moment. Although we might need to get into the stock before too long. So I'm still kind of frustrated about the inability to build particular things at particular times or to get much benefit out of them, but I don't know if that's ever going to go away, guys. I don't know if it's ever going to go away, the fact that I just purely can't build food right now, and I can't build water pumps right now to take advantage. And beyond that, in some ways, it feels like I'm punished if I attack the water pumps because water's already too expensive, food's too expensive, oxygen's too expensive. These morons can't bring the price down, so the colony isn't growing, and I can't do a thing about it. I can't build glass to make money off that either, and it's just very frustrating. It's very frustrating to be in that situation. And even a hacker ray, I can't influence it this much to drag all these prices down, right? These are losing money at this point. Let's turn these back into electronics for good measure. Buy into that a little bit. Unfortunately, we're going to burn through most of it with this transition, but what can you do? And yeah, I do need to start buying a little bit of extra stock before too terribly long. This is the last day. We should have victory pretty well wrapped up. Interestingly enough, our stock price is still awful compared to theirs, but
Let this be a
That just
lesson
seems to be a
recorded
case,
desperately
you know, the
trying to
reality of
break
the
out
game, more or less. Look at this growth. +9. How awful is that? It's less than half.
Price manipulation.
Now, the question is, do we go ahead and short electronics and depend on this guy having been selling them off the entire time? I think that's not a bad idea. We can short them. We can jack up the price a little bit right now. We need to go ahead and maybe blow this up. And maybe EMP here. Send some more oxygen. Should work out just fine. Was that me that did this surplus? Wouldn't surprise me. And now we sit and wait because the game's almost over and we're just kind of waiting for the shorts to finish up. We can go ahead and pay down the debt. Not too worried about that. I'm going to do SMG's tourney this weekend. I don't know still about SMG's tourney this weekend because I still kind of want to stick to my general... I don't do the competing thing anymore because I tried it before. In particular, just so people are aware, because I keep getting asked about this, so I may as well give a full explanation. What I did was a few months ago, I joined a Here's the Storm competitive team. And it went all right. I mean, we were fairly successful, particularly in practice. We had a lot of success. But when it came down to tournaments, it just didn't go so well. And on top of that, I would get extremely frustrated and angry. And there wasn't really good enough reason for that. And it's just kind of my general mindset where I don't handle that kind of situation well. So that's why I remove myself from these competitive situations. And that's why I'm kind of tempted to just stick with that for now. This basic, well, competing just doesn't work very well for me. I'm not particularly good at it. Gotta cancel this, sell it off. We can go ahead and buy some stock at this point. We're not going to put it into the electronic short, so why bother? But that's just basically a so people are aware type of situation. Alright, let's sell. Sell everything we can to buy as much stock as we can, and we'll be good to go into the next mission, hopefully. There we are. Yeah, that might not be a bad idea, Rochambeau, although, I mean, that kind of thing is still... I don't know. Mods aren't my area of expertise. It could be interesting, just if you wanted to give yourself a bit of a challenge in a different fashion, just kind of adjust, play with the AI, and lean it towards certain tendencies the way you want to. You know what could also be interesting? You know what could also be interesting is this idea of there are already different AI personalities in the game, theoretically. What if you could, like, choose the type of AI you wanted to be up against, right? If you wanted to be against Mr. Sabotage on one hand and, like, Mr. Upgrade on another hand, that kind of thing. I don't know. Or Miss Upgrade. I don't remember which one it is, guys. I don't know. There are thoughts. There are thoughts around that. Let's see. Look, it was a campaign mission, guys. We got it done. We made about 700,000. Not near as much as I'd have liked, but it worked pretty well. And then we made another 400,000 Offworld. It looks especially bad because we purchased so much water and we ended up, like, buying a lot of fuel and buying a lot of food and so on. But most of it got sent Offworld, so it's not a big deal. All right. We're sitting on about $2 million. Decent income. Almost no debt. We'll go ahead and pay it off just because... Still keeping our stock price high enough that we're in the top 4. The top 4 is what matters for stock price, by the way, in case anybody who doesn't know, because the last round turns into an elimination round, and it uses your base stock price to determine what your stock in-game actually is. So that's what goes on there, is an actual, like, general multiplayer game at that point. If we run a long-term league, would I be interested? I don't know, still. It's just kind of like... Something to be involved with? Yeah, sure, I'd be interested in being involved and helping out. Something to actually compete in? I don't know. It's kind of contrary to what I'm trying to do in a lot of ways. I could build a free electronics factory. I'm not going to do that. I'd actually rather have an extra claim than a free electronics factory at the start of the game, because the electronics factory starts off bad, and then it doesn't do anything besides keep me from getting debt, and it does that very poorly. So I don't actually want a free electronics factory. I want an extra claim. Let's see. A patent lab could be useful. Could be useful for that elimination scenario. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. I'll grab the extra electronics factory engineer. I'll grab the electrolysis engineer. And then 2 water pumps. Now I've got a decent source of income in the water area, as long as I can't make food still. But I can make fuel and oxygen and water all at a basic level. So at least that's something, right? And let's go ahead and look for... Yeah, we already decided on the extra claim mission, which allows no off-world market, but that's okay. We don't need it. We'll just see how it goes. Yeah, scenario builder could also be cool. But not if he gets nukes. Alright, Juzo. I think you've played too much Civ. Let's go ahead and get into the mission. I think we've only got 2 missions left, guys, and then we'll go ahead and hop into multiplayer at that point.
High levels of water found.
Well, we found a lot of water, helpful as that is. Found a lot of dry ice, also not helpful. Whoa, what happened down here? What is actually happening down here? There, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna scrap this, make a steel mill, and maybe just make another steel mill with this extra claim. We could grab some silicon right next to us as well, but I'm gonna do the steel mill, guys. Then I think I'm honestly just gonna put a goon squad like right here. And this is going to be way more iron and aluminum than we actually need, probably. But, you know, that's okay. That's okay. This is dumb. That's what it is. It's actually completely dumb. Alright, let's sell the oxygen. We can go ahead and upgrade. Get another steel mill down. Get this quarry down. Get that water pump down. Should be pretty good. Now everybody's going to start invading my space because I have the nice aluminum. And unfortunately, I can't kill them. But thankfully, we've only got one opponent this time. They aren't really doing a whole lot. They're inexpansive. They usually seem to just shut themselves down and have to cheat outside of the basic level of mission in order to succeed. So hopefully this will all be alright. Sell off some carbon. Sell off that one little piece of glass that the thing managed to make before we scrapped it. And we'll just watch and see if there's anything actually particularly valuable to pirate. Obviously we could take water. I don't much see the point right now. We're not using it. He's not using it for anything but money. And he's already got steel production down, so he doesn't even need it, necessarily. We could nuke this. That might be a good idea. Nuking this thing a couple of times. Ooh, an electrolysis reactor engineer. Unfortunately, our opponent's going to drive this into the stratosphere and make it not particularly valuable, but we can bet up to like 10,000. 14,000? Probably too much. Probably too much. I don't know if we'll actually... Well, we can push to 18. Let's try it. See if our opponent goes to the 22. I don't know why it jumps up by so much in the campaign. The auctions jump so fast and so high. It's nuts. Okay, rum times. The game could be worth it for single player, but not right now. I would say actually that if what you want to do with this game is single player, I would not purchase it. I would have to encourage you away from it. It's not that the single player is bad, but that it's highly incomplete, if that makes sense. It's just, it's not done yet. So why don't you just, you know, I would encourage you to instead enjoy the game once it's finished, right? If that's what you're doing, because single player is where a lot of the refinement has to come in. So to answer that question, I would say, like, for now, no, don't drop $40 on the single player. And just the single player. Obviously you can, and that's up to you. I personally enjoy the gameplay quite a bit, but if you're fairly competent at strategy games, you'll kind of learn how to stomp the AI fairly quickly once you realize that kind of everything the AI does and thinks is wrong. That can happen very, very fast indeed. And so you kind of want to, especially if you're expecting to, like, wanting to challenge yourself in this game, then yeah, I would hold off for the time being. Could just upgrade again. I think I'll grab a goon squad first. Got plenty of water coming in. We can put down electrolysis before too long, hopefully. I don't know if how long we're gonna need this steel online, especially because we can't actually make off-worlds this mission. We will need a hacker array at some point. Extra claims wouldn't be too bad, but I'm not too worried about it either. Alright. Well, let's go ahead and upgrade.
Efficiency. Beginning construction. Reticulating splines.
I need to put down something that will actually make me money, so I think we have to go into electrolysis immediately. And then make some transition later into electronics somewhere else. Oh, fuel shortage. That's a way to make money. Wait for the fuel shortage. We should actually also toss down electrolysis while this is going on, if at all possible. We'll wait. We'll wait and then we'll get it down. It's not a big deal. Man, have we opened ourselves up to black market, though. That's insane. Oh no, electronic shortage. Well, I can't actually use that short term because I'll just burn through all the electronics too quickly. But long term, that's actually very, very nice. So I'm not going to complain about it.
Freelance pirates are auctioning their services to the highest bidder.
I mean, pirates do literally nothing at this point, right? I'm honestly not too concerned about it. I'm just wondering how high the computer will go. Sure, 14,000, that's fine. Don't even care, 14,000. Computer always goes crazy high on these auctions, which is understandable to some degree because, yes, you can absorb a lot of debt because you can't get bought out directly, but it goes to such an extreme that, like, it becomes impossible to actually... Oh, an oxygen shortage. Get any benefit off of any of the auctions because the computer will just completely destroy all of them. Very, very difficult to actually get an auction that's worth it in a lot of ways. I think our electrolysis engineer might work out, though. Might work out. Let's see. We can go ahead and drop pirates on water, I'm thinking, because we're going to be buying water for a while at this point. I'd rather not get rid of the water on the map, so I don't want to nuke it out.
New directives received and confirmed.
Let's go ahead and short fuel again. We have better fuel production than he does, so that's nice.
Market is online.
And then we can just maybe power surge here. Ah, that'll work. Knocks the important stuff out. Steel surplus is not really what we want. But I guess we can go ahead and get out of steel here and here. And just pull one of these for fun. Just need a little more money. Unfortunately, I did get EMP'd. Like I was saying, I completely opened myself up to that, and it shouldn't be any surprise whatsoever. But it is frustrating. It does slow me down a bit. Thankfully, with black market being inaccessible for the most part to our opponent because of how long the cooldown is, it's honestly not that big a deal. Alright, fuel shortage is coming. We'll try and get an electronics shortage going after that. There we are. It's all queued up. We're all ready to go. And now we're just going to sit here doing this again until we've won the campaign mission. Because as Robotic, we hit HQ level 5 very quickly. Very, very quickly. Shouldn't be any surprise whatsoever. And then we just start making a whole bunch of money off of things like these electronics factories.
Price manipulation begins shortly.
Not a big deal. And we're just going to keep bouncing shortages because as far as I know, this is still the most effective way to actually make money in the game. Especially in the campaign where I've only got still, even after so long in the campaign, I only have a handful of buildings I can actually put down. I can't put down farms. Literally can't put down farms. Literally can't put down chem labs. Can't put down glass furnaces. So I've got like 3 of those big cash cows completely unavailable to me in the campaign. So I don't know what to do besides just keep hacking, quite frankly. Just saying. Alright, let's go ahead and grow this colony before food gets too ridiculously expensive. We'll pay maybe $8,000 for this. I have no idea if this is even actually worth $8,000, but I guess we'll try and take it. Looks like the computer has no idea either, so he's just going to let it go. Fine by me. Alright, let's beef up the housing and buy more offices to increase electronics consumption. Very, very standard stuff. I still feel like this doesn't do a whole lot, because if we look at it, like, let's just find where the actual office building is. Okay, here's an office building. It consumes power and electronics, but look at how few power and electronics it actually consumes. Right now it's just sitting here dormant. It's not doing anything. Okay, there it goes. It did a power. Let's grab an EMP. And there it did a power again. We see some power over here. There's an electronics. But look at how slow that is. Let's just short chems for good measure. Oh, good. There was an electronics surplus that I didn't even notice. Fantastic. Well, I'm dead now. We'll just have to short electronics again in order to stay alive, I think. Here comes a shortage, finally. We'll just short it again in a little while. I don't see anything else to do. Because this is our option for making money, right? We can't just sit here and go, oh, I'm just not going to make electronics. No, that's not an option. We have to make electronics. There's no way around it, unfortunately. I guess we can just turn the buildings off for a while. We'll buy into chems with this hacker array. We're sitting on absolutely no money right now because that surplus completely destroyed it. But back to my point, right? We can see this is consuming very, very, very little in the way of electronics, in the way of power, so on and so forth. Even if we just watch our power production, look at how much power we're dumping into the market in general compared to how much is actually being consumed up here. Or if you want to look at it this way, think about these 3 buildings. They're each consuming 1 unit of water, right? 1 unit of water. So compare that to consumption up here. Even if we count like each of these little flashes as a unit of water, bam, there was 1 water. And here we wait. And then we see like 1 water here. And we just keep waiting. And it's, guys, it's pretty silly in my opinion. We'll go carbon scrubbing. We'll go ahead and EMP this out for good measure. Man, look at these electronics factories now. That surplus completely wrecked us. But where am I supposed to, honestly, where am I supposed to actually make money? I don't understand. Especially without access to an off-world market. I don't know if that should ever be a thing on any of these missions. And this is the reason, is because I've already completely tanked the prices in a lot of ways on this mission of things I can actually make. And I can't send anything off-world, and I can't adjust my production. It's ridiculous.
New pet up for auction.
Like, what's my option? Oh, just make less stuff, and then it'll be more expensive. Yeah, but then I don't have anything to sell. You get my point? It's awkward. It's weird. It's annoying. I don't like it about the campaign. Feel free to contribute, though. I don't know if it makes sense for consumption, is the thing. Like, should consumption be that outpaced by production? That outpaced. I mean, that's a lot. That is a big, big, big difference, is the thing. It comes nowhere near to actually matching the amount of production these colonies can put out. So why would these colonies even come here if they can just produce so much that they'll just completely destroy the prices and it's not worth anything? Or why wouldn't the colony adjust naturally by having more and more and more and more and more people come in to this consumption? I don't know, guys. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I'll blow this up come day. Since power's shorting, I may as well actually put down a little more power too. See if I can take some advantage off this with superconductor. Boom. Enjoy. Well, electronics are still worth absolutely nothing. What can I hack? What can I hack? I guess I can hack glass. Just to keep bouncing around between things. Steel short's not the worst thing ever. Our opponent is producing some, but not a huge amount. Hopefully they're not sitting on a giant stockpile in particular. We already got carbon scrubbing. We could go perpetual motion. We could go nanotech. I don't see any much benefit to any of these, unfortunately. So now at this point, I could just go nanotech and then scrap the thing to get the resources back, and that may be my best bet. Sell off steel. We are making steel. It's making a small amount of money, turning iron into steel. Power is still kind of expensive, and thankfully our opponent's not getting anything out of that. Because we blew up his poor little solar panel. So that's nice for us. Let's keep growing the colony. Make sure we still have money coming in. We'll keep buying offices, because, man, there isn't anything else for us to buy. Let's see. I just shorted glass. I guess we can make some money off the glass short by buying into it, which was the initial goal. And then what we're probably going to have to do... Well, turn these off, for one thing. That's what we have to do. Look at how much of this stuff I'm sitting on. It's insane. Then we might honestly have to surplus glass immediately just so we can keep buying these office buildings and try to bring the electronics production consumption up to the point where it matches what we can produce.
10,000.
Glass furnace engineer. Now this could be nice, actually, and worth something, but I don't know if it's going to be worth $22,000 to us. It's also very interesting that the negative effect of this is now permanent, this 30,000 debt, right? It'll hang out with you the whole time. But the benefit is not permanent. It's only for this level. And even if I took that, it would just be one glass furnace engineer, so it's producing at an exceptionally bad rate. And it just doesn't feel worthwhile. I got nuked. I got nuked in the water. Alright. That accomplishes very, very little, but alright. On the other hand, I am accomplishing very, very little, so I don't see how they could actually do anything to accomplish very much. I'll hand them that.
Market is online.
Power surge. Can't make chems, can't make glass, can't move production around. We can turn the electronics factories back on because we're no longer consuming carbon. So that's good at least. I think we have to short electronics. After the surplus goes, we'll buy another office building or 3. Just once glass is a little cheaper. Unfortunately, this makes it easier for our opponent to expand, but I don't know what to do about that once again.
Expansive colony
Buy a little oxygen, not too much, because our opponent's been sitting on oxygen production this whole time. We don't want him to get a huge benefit out of it. Is he actually... He gets 40. What do I get? 32. Hang on. He consumes 1 water. Oh, and then 0.3 water because he has cold fusion. That's what's going on. Okay, that makes sense. I was very confused about why his would be worth more than mine. But it all makes sense now. That's okay. We got nanotech. Let's go ahead and scrap this guy. I'm tempted to honestly just build another hacker array here because I don't see any other building that could provide as much benefit as that. So I'm just going to do it. It doesn't cost anything, so who cares? Buy an office. Buy a house. That surplus did not last long, did it? How much did this price actually move? I know our opponent probably expanded in response, but not near as much as I was hoping.
Price manipulation begins shortly.
Let's see, these, not quite losing money yet. That was an electronics short. Let's go ahead and buy into it. I feel like I honestly just have to keep pumping out electronic shorts. It's the only thing I can actually make. But I don't know if it'll actually make me enough money to be worth $28,000 that it costs. It's just very awkward. Alright, we'll sell out of it. We'll buy into the carbon. These are actually costing me money again. Oh, it's going alright, Darth Caboose. I'm still figuring out...
The black market is online.
I'm still figuring out the campaign and how it works and everything. And yeah, okay. Let's say it makes sense that... At the beginning... Okay, let's say it makes sense on some level. The specific buildings that are available to each colony. But why is it impossible, basically? It's virtually impossible for me to reasonably be able to make food and electrolysis for a corporation. Like, why couldn't I learn how to do that better than I currently can? Right? Or why on some level? Why am I completely locked out of it? I mean, my opponents have buildings that are left over. I don't know. I'm forcing them out of markets. Why haven't I learned how to do this, and why can't I learn? Because it feels like I honestly can't learn. Because, yeah, the labor pool is there, and oh, you can buy the engineers. But if you go and do that, you don't... You're committing so many resources on a gamble. Because you need at least, like, 2 or 3 engineers to actually be worthwhile and keep up with the computer opponents who clearly cheat their way to victory in every other map, right? And it's just very awkward. Very strange indeed. I should really short aluminum. Maybe that'll be worthwhile. I don't know if we can actually short electronics. I guess we can try again, see if it makes us... It's not going to make us $32,000. And along with that, it's like, okay, it makes sense. But does that make it a good gameplay element? This idea, right? Does it actually make it good for the game? Is it a positive influence in any fashion? That you just can't do this thing because screw you. I don't feel like it is, personally. I just bought housing, and it stayed at 6 out of 6. Why did it stay out of 6 out of 6? I just bought housing. Twice. Twice I just bought housing. It took my money. I think it gave me stock. It better have. But the colony's not growing. It's still at 6 out of 6. What's that about? Can I buy more housing? Cost me $24,000. I don't know if I'll ever have that amount again this game, but turn those off, turn those back on for a while. Not too long. Oh, we can get back into getting silicon. Yeah, let's do that.
Our hackers have compromised the trading service.
Man, he's making a lot on farms and chems. We can't shut all this down. Aluminum shortage is hopefully good. I guess we can surplus both of them. Surpluses shouldn't cost too much. They should be at least worth the surplusing. Just about to start losing money again. Sell some aluminum, because why not? How much money am I actually sitting on total? Yeah, about 28,000 with all these resources. But it's like, that's kind of the last thing, is people will say, oh, well... You know, it makes sense that the colony can't make it, but like, okay, maybe it does, but does it make sense from a game perspective? It's like, what kind of game is left over at that point? Not much of one, in my opinion.
Price manipulation begins shortly.
And maybe I could just figure out how to not flood the market, but then What's the
Our hackers
point?
have
I'm just basically
compromised the
locked
trading
down because of my
servers.
inability to
Price
produce the right
manipulation
resources?
begins
It's
shortly.
weird. What difficulty is this on? It's on manager. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the other thing is, like, you can get engineers, right, guys? You can get engineers. But it's such an awkward risk. In particular, it's a really awkward risk because you don't know if you're going to have access to the right kind of engineer. And so you're, like, making all of these decisions and predictions based on completely random events that you honestly know absolutely nothing about. And you have no way to predict any of them. I see our opponent has managed to effectively do a control shift down. I think we're literally sitting here doing nothing for this last half a day. And frankly, if you're going to have this system in place... Wow, Twitch is lagging for you guys? That's unfortunate. It's not lagging for me at all, which is weird. The Offworld market obviously alleviates this issue, right? Because I could at least send something Offworld if I had completely destroyed the prices. But I still don't think it's honestly good for the game. This idea of being locked out of a resource. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't understand it on any level. Let's see, I can afford to maybe buy one more thing. Population is finally growing again. I don't know what finally made it start growing again. It moved from 6 of 6 to 6 of 7. It looked like when our opponent bought something. That looked buggy to me, but whatever. Let's buy a house. It's a little cheaper. Gives us a little more stock. We can get a little more income, but not a lot. Turn those off. I think our carbon's our best income right now. And that's it. Thankfully, the day will be over in just about an hour, and then we can move on to a bit more of a real mission with an elimination component to it, and we'll see what happens. Maybe that's possible, but eventually it did have tiles to expand, right? And even if the colony doesn't have tiles to expand, my understanding is that it will, like, jump over a hill maybe. But you may be right that it got fenced in and it couldn't grow anymore because I took this tile here. On the other hand, that's ridiculous, right? That's the kind of thing that why would I have to watch out for that kind of thing in the gameplay? It's just frustrating and annoying and counterintuitive at the end of the day. But you may be correct that that's what happened. Well, let's hope I'm still in the top 4 at the end of this mission. We did what we could. Got a lot of income. Oh, barely in the top 4. That's not barely. We were like $3 ahead, but still. So let's see what we can do with this last little bit. The mission's just going to be a basic mission, I think. We don't even get to select anything about it. It's just a standard match. We could unlock the ability to make chems. Probably a good idea. An engineering lab also might be a good idea. Kind of goes along with that general chems idea. We already have a patent lab available. I think I'm going to start with these two. They seem like the most important. We already have it in Offworld. Another one would have been nice. I feel like an engineering lab and a chem lab are both a little bit more valuable than just making our Offworld better, though. What we can maybe do is grab an extra mine and quarry engineer. Those could still be helpful. We could grab a pleasure dome, but pleasure domes... Oh, I hate pleasure domes. They're so boring. I'm actually just going to grab another hacker array. Forget it. We'll just make better use of the hacker array. Pay down our debt. Make our stock price as high as it can go, hopefully. And go ahead and get started on the last mission. Oh yeah, carbon scrubbing is absolutely incredible. What do you mean I must select level? There is no level to select. There. I selected it. Go. Are we really going to bug out right here? Are we going to get to the point where we can't progress? Hold on. What about here? Go. I'm not eliminated. I'm still in. I see that right now. Still in it. See? Not eliminated. Can we start? No. What if we exit? Come back. Resume campaign. Can't select the mission. Stuck with the choices we made. Can't select that mission. Can't select this mission. Guys, this might be the most anticlimactic ending to a campaign you've ever seen. We got to the final round. We were good to go. We'd selected all of our stuff. I can't actually choose a mission. I actually just can't. Well, that should be good news for all of you, because I guess that means it's multiplayer time. All right.